universal basic income can only work on internet computer protocol. No other crypto and no other infrastructure I'm aware of on Earth could provide this kind of functionality. If you haven't heard of universal basic income before, it's this idea that you give every person a recurring payment so that people could actually afford to live, to eat, and maybe even to have somewhere to live. That everybody would have a basic level of income to get by. Now, obviously, there's some huge problems with this in terms of, well, how much money would people get based on their location? And would you have to be a good boy or a good girl in order to get these payments? Who would be giving them, etc.? But universal basic income is a powerful idea that's being floated around right now. And the fact from what I can see is that only ICP has the infrastructure to support this. Because the real problem with universal basic income right now is who is a real person. Universal basic income, to me, when I first hear of it, I think, how are you going to fraud that? Just like with things like welfare and all these other government systems, there's an absolute huge amount of fraud in them. And universal basic income would be ripe to, have like 8, 10 different people on it that you're collecting all their basic income. For example, take all your relatives and friends and family and just take all their income and get it yourself. So with the universal basic income system, what you would need to have in place is something to verify people are real and that the real person is getting the real payment, not somebody else. Is the person alive or dead? Are they in the correct country or region? Can they receive the payment securely, etc.? So right now, if you can't solve for all these things and do it in a way that's secure, then universal basic income would just get hacked and frauded to oblivion. Now, most systems right now, any system I know of besides ICP is simply not secure enough to handle universal basic income in a way that at least would work globally. You could certainly set up something like in the USA to have universal basic income, but it wouldn't really be universal, it'd be USA basic income. You could certainly set that up to just pay to US citizens from the IRS, for example. But what good would universal basic income be if it could only be in one country? So the idea with the universal basic income is you could set this up globally. Well, the problem with globally is trying to make payments globally and have it any kind of secure without just being destroyed by hacking and fraud. There's literally no way I see to do that besides ICP. You need tamper-proof infrastructure, and without that, universal basic income just becomes universal basic fraud. So most of crypto, despite all the lies that their marketing is putting out, and to be clear, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice, and I'm an ICP maxi because of the technology. The rest of crypto is not capable of supporting universal basic income. Bitcoin can't do it because it has no native identity directly on a blockchain. You'd have to have third parties doing it. And if you're going to run it like that, you cannot do it in a way that's secure globally. Bitcoin cannot support universal basic income. Ethereum does not have the infrastructure even close to do it because you'd have to try and use layer 2s and all. It'd be an absolute mess. Solana, all it's good for is moving tokens fast. You could not set something like this up on Solana or any other chain. Because right now, everything in crypto besides ICP, all it does is send tokens. But if you're going to have real universal basic income, you also need the blockchain itself, not a third party outside of it. But you need a blockchain itself to be able to verify identity and do the entire transaction and the login and all of that. You need the entire application to be on-chain. You need smart contract or canisters to manage all that. You need web hosting directly on a blockchain. Otherwise, it could get hacked and frauded into oblivion. You need on-chain governance to make sure that nobody's fooling with this or taking malicious control, automatic payments, scalable infrastructure, tamper-resistant, and you need to have potential AI and KYC built fully into the blockchain, not some TEE environment where supposedly it did the calculations and supposedly it's secure. You need to have all this stuff set up. So right now, ICP has infrastructure, in theory, to run all this because you could run the KYC directly on ICP, and you could even have that locally by state governments or federal governments, but you could verify somebody is real and hold all the data on chain. That verification connect to a specific internet identity. The system confirms you're eligible. The canister could automatically send payments, and the entire payment system becomes transparent, auditable, tamper-resistant, and global. ICP is the only tech that can do this. Now, for better or worse. I mean, this could be amazing if it was used for freedom and survival and poverty reduction. It could be awful if it's just used for global compliance to a one world new order government. So I'm not saying universal basic income is a good idea either, because often just giving people handouts makes people lazy. When you got to go work for your living, like your boys out here working for my living, it promotes going and getting it, promotes energy. And right now, the main thing I'm doing, oh yeah, just showed you my ChatGPT outline, bro. But it helps. It makes it easier so I don't wander off on 80 different tangents. So if how I am providing value to you, these videos are my free value. If you want the best of what I can give you, if you want to talk ICP all day, if you want to have direct access to DM me, if you want a one-on-one call given to you as a bonus for joining, go to jerrybanfield.com, join the community. Just had somebody drop $49 a month today to join. Somebody 2 days earlier dropped $390 for the yearly membership. I want you in there. Get in there. It will totally change your life. Anything you're struggling with that I've conquered, get in there. I'm there. My AI's there all day for you. Group calls, we're setting these up now. Founding members can be there. This is the best time to join while there's only like 5-10 people in there. Well, you've got my full attention. Thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you on jerrybanfield.com joining the family today.